Powered by Virginia Radio.
Why do you care so much about success? Have you figured that out?
I'm just addicted to it.
Storm.
I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now. I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now. Making hits, gotta keep it 100, and that's word, that's too legit. Ay, need the photography, we callin' big homie rich. Ay, battle rap kings on Fridays, my homies lit. Ay, all you gotta do is hit up loud and book an hour. Streaming service, 8 months he booking about an hour. He really working 24/7, the money hours. Somebody lurking, never worry about them cause they drowning. I'm really certain we some big dogs don't carry fleas, nigga please. Don't run off, say what you mean, talk to me. DJ Nas, what's good, my nigga, what's the fee? Sheesh, I'm really rapping off the yeesh. I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now. I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now. It's phenomenal, 3 years in the making. Loud, put that groundwork in, don't mistake it. Every night of every day is no complaining. Lobby posted at the store when it's raining. We was live in the V, we at that loud house. Now it's members only, others they fouled out. From the outside they see, they had to find out. When you come around, the energy is loud now. Oh, we shining over here, oh, that what homie said. See that jealousy, what have you living on the edge? Got the background on some 3D digital for real, and it's really clear, for real. I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now. I've been getting money off the music to a pay now. Got the logo PNG, I drop it any day now. Power by Virginia, power by the beat the wave now. Beat the streets, I send it over, they gon' get it played now.
Peace, peace, y'all. Peace, peace. What is going on out there? Welcome to Goddess Talk. You're here with Mobitis, of course, the only place where the spirit gonna meet the streets and the streets gonna meet the spirit. And y'all, today we have a special guest with us today. We have the lovely, the one, the only, straight alcatrician, straight from here, Newport News, Virginia, that done went places in this health and holistic world. Atum Dre. Let's give it up for Atum Dre, y'all.
Give thanks,
If you're sitting at home, let's give it up for him.
Give thanks, my sister, for that warming introduction. I am here for us, and I really am truly honored to be here to speak on this platform.
I'm so honored to be the one that you come and sit with and talk with and expand the knowledge and the wealth that you have in your mind, because knowledge is wealth, and this man is abundantly wealthy. He can save multiple lives with the wealth that he have in his mind, and I think that that's a beautiful thing. So before we get any further, first, if y'all don't know, what is an alcatrician?
Well, I created that title in the honor of Dr. Sabi, and it simply means that it's an instrument of healing and a facilitator in the process, helping individuals integrate self-care and reflection in their lives.
That's something deep too. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that and write that definition down
Respect, sis.
because that was a deep definition. I asked you that before I asked you this question because growing up in Virginia,
Yes.
in Newport News, first of all, uptown or downtown?
Downtown.
Downtown of so bad
the railroad
news. Yes.
tracks, yeah, man.
Okay. So growing up downtown, I know growing up, I didn't see a lot of health people or people talking about vegan and things like that. So what kind of, first of all, how was it for you growing up in Newport News downtown? And then was that part of what led you to your journey today?
Well, yeah. Well, like most, I grew up without my father, and I looked to my environment for a lot of questions and answers that I didn't, know for myself. So once I did that, I got caught up in the streets. Got caught up in the streets. I stayed on the honor roll. I stayed on the honor roll all the way until I decided to drop out of school. I dropped out of school in the 11th grade, and all I wanted to be was a scientist or a doctor. But I ain't understand at the time why I did not want to be in this system. Or, I just felt like small because they said that in order for you to be successful, you have to get these degrees
Right.
or get this, thing to get a stamp of approval.
Right.
So I was like, wow, and I can do the work. So, I just, felt a little small, confused. And, I grew up just like everyone else, eating the standard American diet, didn't care, didn't value life. I got conditioned only to value a dollar, so valuing what I put in my body, that was the last thing on my conscious or my brain, because we didn't see it. You didn't see
Right.
people valuing life. Just always, you got to get this money. You got to get to this money in order to be able to take care of this and that. So I just got wrapped up in the value of a dollar. And from that, that's why I ended up turning to the streets, and yeah, and I'm honored to say that, I didn't go to jail for, penitentiary or no federal penitentiary or things like that, but I learned a lot.
And you did a lot.
I definitely did a lot. When I learned a lot about it because I became a millionaire at the age of 21, 22.
Oh, wow, really?
I went through some money. So, didn't value it, just thought I was supposed to be in the music business or either some type of celebrity. That's all we think we're supposed to be.
Right.
So,
Or we think that that's the only way to be big.
Right, there you go. To get wanted to be famous, but then at the same time, I really wasn't on that type of vibration of wanting to be famous. Never did. Even when I was in the music business, I always wanted to be the one in the back. I just didn't want to be that person to be, I'm doing this or I got this. I've just never been that.
So, coming from there, how do one get from the streets and getting into the streets to now all of a sudden caring about your health and then going to study with the renowned Dr. Sabi? Because this going to lead his way up to that too. So it's not going to be the pinnacle because this is an interview with you.
Right.
But it got to make its way around this. So, how do you go from the streets? What was the first step? Like, what happened? I would like to know what transition, because I think that that's important for a lot of men. This is Goddess Talk.
Respect.
Is Goddess Talk on the back?
Excuse me?
Goddess Talk on the back? Lord. This is Goddess Talk.
Gotcha.
And so...
That's right.
And so, I don't pretend to know what a man perspective is.
Respect.
And so I have had men up here, but none in the caliber of knowledge as far as health, wellness, mental health, and things like that.
Gotcha.
So from a man perspective, what was it that happened to you that made you click to start caring about something like that. And then not saying that you can tell another man what will happen to them to make them click,
Right.
but everybody need if they're not there right now, that mean they need help. They need instructions.
That's right.
So maybe we can help them find little signs that they're missing all around them, that their body is telling them that they're ready to elevate.
Got you, sis. Well, it first started was, I got tired of not being able to do the right thing all the time. I was just always upstairs in my brain. I would always ask myself, why I can't do the right thing all the time. Didn't have the answer yet, so and then my mother got sick. Okay, she got sick. So we never make a change for the better until something detrimental happened.
And for the Moors, the prophets say you won't do nothing unless you got the sword at your neck. You won't move until the sword is at your neck.
That is a true statement. So once my mom got sick, I ended up jumping on the internet, looking for something for my mother. Mind you, I had met Dr. Sabi in 1995.
Okay, okay.
I was 20. I was young, dumb, full of the cum, as we say, But I didn't value life again. I valued a dollar, And this was the time we was going to go to a studio and all of that. So we met Dr. Sabi in D.C. with AI. We was all together, and again, I didn't value it. So fast forward back to 2010, my mom gets sick. So I'm on the internet looking, and next thing you know, I find this brother. But I still don't know that's the brother I met in 1995.
Okay.
Because I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a cure for my mom.
Okay, right.
So, boom, end up finding all this information, listening to it, and it's resonating. So I listened to it for about maybe 4 months. And then I finally said, Ma, I got it. And told one of my friends that I found the answer for our culture. We got it. And he said, man, what you talking about? And he was on the phone with me. He Googled him, and he said, Dre, you don't remember him? And I was like, as soon as he said it, it came to me. I said, wow, we met him in D.C. in 1995 at Todd House. Wow. So now, again, me stop wanting to always do the right thing. Now I'm understanding the difference between a nigga, Mr. Provider, and a man. See, I didn't understand none of that before.
Wow, wow, that was. Can you repeat that list real quick?
Yes, I started to understand the difference between a nigga, Mr. Provider, and a man. And I used to call myself a real nigga, and instead of saying myself a real man, and that's what I became.
Come on now.
I definitely became
talk
that.
Talk.
I became that.
Talk that
and after
talk.
I became that real nigga, I ended up getting that money. So now I'm Mr. Provider. So which makes me think that I am a man. But once I understood that what makes you a man is your word, sis.
Your word.
Integrity.
Integrity.
So us brothers or niggas looking at these sisters in their eyes and telling them that they're the one and only, and knowing in their brain consciously that they want to really say that you're the one of only of many.
That's right.
And if that's what the game you choose to play, still my thing is let that woman know
and choose.
Don't act like you're that one and only, But that's a whole nother conversation,
But that's something. It all ties together, though.
Sis. But see, that goes back to the thing of one person can't do everything. One person can't do everything. But yet, I used to look into a woman's eyes and say, "You're my everything." How? And that's saying, see, we got to understand there's different connections of what they call so-called love. You know what I'm saying? It's different connections. You may have a connection for a sister or a brother that can help you build in a conversation. Y'all building. And you got love for that person.
Right.
You might got a different person that you may have a connection with that may help you financially get so-called a currency flow or money. you will have a love for that person.
That's right.
Then you got a person that you may be physically intimate with. You got a love for that person. So people don't understand, but we try to make this one person be our everything.
That's right.
You know, and that's why because I just be observant and I have awareness to see, like, dang, why is everybody not joyful? You know,
I like that perspective that you just said about we try to make one person our everything. And I am a person that do believe in soul ties,
right,
and I do believe in twin flame as well.
right, respect.
However, though, even with the soul tie and with the twin flame, that person is not supposed to be your everything. That person is supposed to be a balance. Because as much as we like to think that we are balanced and we got it all together without our partner,
Respect.
spiritually, universally in the world, we're still unbalanced. Because there's one thing that we haven't achieved on this physical plane, and that was being at peace with somebody in a that fast that's already meant for your spirit. What kind of water is this?
Aquapana. No.
Aquapana from Tuscany. I never even seen a bottle like this.
Yeah, I'd be a little bougie with my water, but for the records, the best water on this planet, to get it all unconfused and saying, okay, what brand is this? If you say I want the best water on the planet, coconut. That is the best.
I can't get with the coconut water, and I know for all my goddesses out there that love me, y'all go look at me like what? But it's the taste. It's something. It's the taste. It's something with the taste.
So you even out the coconut too?
That's the only. I haven't had it out the carton.
Oh, good.
I only had it out the coconut.
So, okay, good. So you just some people just. You know,
Now, if I was thirsty on the island, I'm gonna gulp it down now.
Now, yeah, I know that's right. Yeah, see, that's out of respect. That's right. You're not gonna sit there and dehydrate.
Right,
yourself.
right.
But I just want to just let people know, because the reason why it's the best is because it is naturally alkaline. It draws in the water from the oceans.
Oh wow!
Through the roots, and it alkalines the water. And it also has electrolytes. That's why it's the most powerful water on this planet.
Would you suggest people to get it in the cartons?
No.
Okay. No carton coconut water.
That's one thing about. I used to drink it in the carton, and then once I started going out the country, and I would get coconuts. And before I even used to go out the country, I would get the coconut. And after a certain amount of days, if you leave it in the refrigerator, it has a certain taste to it. So it starts to ferment.
Gotcha.
After a certain amount of days. So I'm like, well, how are they keeping it on the shelf?
And isn't that ferment?
And then they'll tell you on the back of it, it's 100% coconut. But they don't tell you something added in there.
They don't tell you nothing added.
So people.
And that's what they don't understand about the USA.
Right.
It's so much stuff that they can hide and deceive that's against real life, like our health and things like that we would never know what's going on. So, I dabble in a little chicken, something when I'm out and about.
Respect.
But I don't buy chicken in my home. My children don't eat meat. So, right. Well, no, they eat fish, though.
No, but see, I'm glad you said meat, because most people think that chicken, cow, and the fish and the pig, they think that's meat. It's flesh.
You're right, because fruit have meat.
The inside of the
and
fruit
vegetables. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
So much. So because when you pull up at a drive-through and you see that menu and that thing say flesh up there, you're gonna pull off. See, it's not appealing to the brain.
You're right.
You understand? So
you're
that's
right.
Why they had to trick that and say that. But I just
flesh.
always we got to call it what it is.
You got to call it what it is. Yep. I'm a proud, firm believer on that, and I stand on that. And I was just saying, like, see, once I was just telling her too, like, once I know like something, it's hard for me to go against it.
Right.
Like, that's how I came across my national like. Once I already knew I wasn't black, that's something my grandma always taught us. Like, my grandma always taught us that, but she just didn't have the correct knowledge to tell us what exactly we were.
That's right.
So soon as I ran across the brother that was like, sister, well, what's your nationality? And I'm like, I'm black and I'm proud. And he was like, no, sis, nationality. And I'm like, hold on. you right, because now I do know I'm not this, but this only thing I can identify with right now. So once I know, so flesh, you're right, and fruit had to meet. So so this is my question. Back to it.
Yes.
How did you end up studying with Dr. Sebi? Now I heard we right now in the story. Now you probably think I forgot.
I got you.
But right now in the story, your mom got sick and you was searching. You told her you found it. You told your brother. He started looking it up. So now, is this where you got the Dr. Sebi? Or I done fast forwarded a little bit.
Because I hadn't started with Doc yet. Like I said, I ordered from his office. January the 1st, 2011. Got the package January the 3rd. Me and my mom, I ordered one for her and one for me, and we started it together. And my mom had diabetes and she had a stomach ulcer. She threw up every day. I couldn't hold nothing down. Excuse me. So, okay, we ended up getting rid of the diet. Well, she ended up reversing the diabetes in it's about 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Because she had type 2.
Okay.
And then the ulcer, it took about 2.5 months. Because I didn't know what I know now about nutrition and how the body works. So I'm just going off of what the connection of Dr. Sebi's office.
Right.
So I'm excited that she's reversed her conditions. So I was like, shoot, I'm not better than her. I came from her. How am I think I'm going to do something like she's doing or done and expect something different? So I said, I ain't going back. So I stayed with Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide. Okay. So then I ended up, what was next? I ended up getting FDA approved. I'm FDA approved.
So you are FDA approved.
Yes.
So I want y'all to listen, because you're not getting jewels from just anybody. Got the credentials to back up. And forget FDA though, because I'm really talking about Dr. Sebi credentials.
Right.
But FDA, for those who honor that system, he got those credentials as well.
Respect, sis. And that, like I said, and that was just to, because I used to hear Doc talk so much on his videos that we depend on other people. So I was like, wow, so ain't nobody making us food. Okay. So I ain't saying I wanted to be the first, but ended up being the first person to get approved by the FDA using Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide.
Wow.
So then I ended up creating the world's first breakfast patty out of garbanzo beans instead of soybeans that was FDA approved.
Do y'all hear this?
But I just found at the time, and at the time I found my purposes, so once I did none of this to be first.
Right.
Ever. It just happened.
It was written.
Right. There you go, sis. So once I did that, I'm doing, I'm not going to get into it deeply because I'm about to write a book too as well. So
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it in detail of each thing, but we ended up doing, linking up with the office and doing little consultations and stuff like that for free, just learning, just excited, just wanting to help what's already been laid. How can I be of assistance? So, boom. And then
y'all call in if you have any questions too.
Yes, please do. And so I ended up getting asked to cook for him. And this is in 2014. And they asked me to do a speaking as well. Shout out to my sister Patricia for in DC for allowing me the opportunity. So I went up there and did that and connected with him. We spoke we sat and spoke for about 4 hours, But before that, let me rewind this little part. Right before I got that call, this is in 2014, this is probably in January, I'm sleeping in my bed. And this is about 4 o'clock in the a.m., and I get a shove in my back, I promise you. And it was so real that when I jumped up, the first thing I looked for was my gun. Because it felt that real.
Somebody put hands on you.
Like, what the? And nobody's in the bed with me. So I'm like, and I'm looking around, and then I heard something say, call Dr. Sebi. All right. I ain't never spoke to him. Like, call him. What you mean call him? Like, I ain't got his number. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So I was getting ready to lay down. I grabbed my phone and go through it, go to Dr. Sabi's number. It's Dr. Sabi's office. Hit it. That man answered the phone. He said, hello? I said, because I didn't hear your voice so much on the videos.
Right.
I'm like, Dr. Sabi. He said, yeah, man. I said, wow. So I told him, what happened, just like I just explained to y'all. And he said, wow. He said, I said, Doc, you probably don't even remember me, man, but man, I met you in D.C. in, what was it? 1995 at Todd's house. I said I was with Alan Iverson. He said, yeah, man, I remember y'all. He said, guess who I'm with now? Guess who he was with?
Iverson. Who?
Who house I met him at?
Todd.
And they was in California.
Oh, wow.
They was in California.
Wow, connected.
This 12 o'clock a.m.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We behind. I'm on Virginia and he on California.
3 hours behind.
Yeah, so he said, man, we going to go to Mexico. I was like, wow. I said, man, told him who I was. I told him what I was doing with the office. He said, yeah, we're going to walk. We're going to work together. We're going to talk. We never exchanged them. And then fast forward to the one lady in D.C., the sister in D.C., and that's when I get the call. I was like, daggone right, I want to cook for Doc. Mm-hmm. And we had a little conversation, but still hadn't got the chance to travel with him. But I ended up connecting with this brother, and I'll talk about it more, and Mr. G. Mm-hmm. Connecting with him, and he said, man, you need to be with us. And ended up setting up a meeting with me and Doc, and the rest is our story. And I'm going to tell you about more of it in my book, but
gotcha.
The rest of it is our story.
Gotcha. So how long were you with him, though?
I started traveling with Doc not that long, because 2015.
Okay.
I started traveling with him in 2015, and that's when he left in the 2015.
And we send out much love and care to his spirit.
That's what it says.
It's still solving problems on a plane unseen right now. Right. And so, we want to send him some guidance, strength. We know we handle it with ease, he passing levels at this point. He on the level we trying to get to. He passing levels. So, it ain't no thing to a G.
Just not on the physical, but he's still here with the etheric engine.
Exactly. And so, listen. This is one thing that now we're about to get into. I see it's 5:28, so that means that's the hour to get into a little bit of deep conversation. Okay. And so one thing that I learned from Dr. Sebi, and I learned from a couple of my sisters that also were students of his as well, right, is that any dis-ease of the body is nothing but plaque and mucus that's attacking the body, right? Mm-hmm. So first, is there a difference between plaque and mucus? And if so, would you be able to help us understand that?
Well, yes, it is a difference. Mucus is a protector of the body. First of all, let's get that part right.
I did not know that.
Mucus is created from the mucous membrane. Mm-hmm. You understand? And we got to understand why that mucous membrane creates mucus. Because in chemistry, you have, on the physical side, we have acid and we have alkaline. Mm-hmm. And neither one of those chemistries can neutralize themselves. They have to be neutralized by one another.
Right.
Okay? So when we eat these acidic foods, it creates the mucous membrane to create mucus to protect. Mm. See, mucus is really alkaline because it has to neutralize the acid.
You teaching.
But see, acid is the cause, mucus is the effect. Mm. So when you create that mucus, it starts to create blockages. And when you don't have no flow, when things become stagnated, then we start to put ourselves through a dis-ease. We start to develop symptoms. And that's when they start to want to call it these names. But it's just symptoms.
It's symptoms of a dis-ease.
That's all it is, because of we just got to understand how this body of ours works. We never been taught it. We never even wanted to learn. We like, even with me, you know, I could sell marijuana real good. You know, I could promote concerts real good. You know, I used to manage artists real good. I used to could build computers from scratch. I could set up networks, but I never learned how my body worked. That is the most backwards thing ever. But that's how they condition us.
One of the to me, pardon me, one of the biggest tricks that they pulled for us, right, is they say, oh, well, we all are the same, or we all was made the same. All races or all of us were made the same. When they don't understand that if you have melanin in your body, you're not made the same as those who don't have melanin in your body. And so our body is supposed to be alkaline based. And so, you know, if somebody else's body is acidic based, they can eat certain things that it won't do certain things if they eat it in moderation. Now, everybody still have to do things in moderation, but their body can break down certain things different than somebody who only don't supposed to be eating so much acidic based things versus alkaline based things. And so why I say that's one of the biggest tricks, right, is that where we are like, oh, we can eat steak, or we can eat pork, or we can eat all of these things, right? Because we've seen other nations of people eat it, right? And we've seen them eat it raw and still survive and thrive. You understand? So we are all made the same, so we can do the same thing too. And it's not the truth. And we are hurting ourselves by believing that on a health level, because our bodies, and then it gets so special, right? That, and I know you come here to teach, but I want you to confirm this with me too. Because am I lying so far?
Okay. Now, and you're absolutely right. And just to clarify and make it clearer, no one is designed to eat flesh. Not one person. No, not one human species. That's what we have to understand. Now, it's not that we are better than any other species on this planet, but we are different. And we never got taught that we were different.
Right.
That's why I don't teach people that we're better than no one, or no one is better than us. We are different. Okay?
We are different.
When we are different, meaning going back to the difference, I just tell people, just look at the all-knowing. Whatever name you choose to give it, I don't care what title you choose to give it. We all say that the higher power is all-knowing, correct? All right.
Yep.
Now, let's look at nature. Nature will always your blueprint to life. All right? So, when I looked at nature, I said, the carnivore who is designed by the all-knowing to consume flesh by its biological structure of his DNA, you never see him cooking his food. Ever. Okay. So then I looked at the herbivore who is designed by the all-knowing to consume plants. By its biological structure of his DNA, you never see him cooking its plants. I looked at the omnivore who is designed to eat both flesh and plants, because they say we're supposed to have it both. All right. I never see that species cooking its food either. And it's designed by the all-knowing. So I said, we're not designed to eat these things. Oh, okay. Without going to a college or university, if you have to cook your food, guess what? It's simply not designed for you to eat it.
I can't disagree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
Because they say, well, we're supposed to eat fish. If you look at the polar bear, who is designed by its biological structure to consume flesh, you never see him go throw a fishing rod out, catch it, clean it, and cook it.
Now, what about beans?
Again, you have to cook it. If you have to cook it, it's not designed for you.
Mm.
Think about it. And I say this because I was raised up into this. You know, this was what I was raised in is Christianity, and I use these references because God said, "I created fruit, and fruit shall be your meat with every bearing seed." Right, and this is in Genesis, first chapter, verses 27 through 29.
Right, right.
If you go before that sentence and after that sentence, you will never see the all-knowing telling you to put anything else in your mouth. So I said, well, Dad. And I looked at the fruit. I said, well, you don't have to cook fruit.
That's true. That's true.
Cook fruit. See, we're not designed to cook our food. But we just because we can eat it doesn't mean it's designed for your biological structure of your DNA.
It hurt y'all, but you got to get the truth. You got to get the truth. At first it's bitter, but then it turns so sweet.
Right.
The end result of it is so sweet. Now, my thing is, before I get to this question real quick.
Come on with it.
This is where a lot of people don't know it even get a little bit deeper, though, is that even different blood types should have a different diet. And that's very important because different blood types, it has different nutrients that's needed.
That's why I'm so grateful for our brother, Dr. Sabi. Because he debunked that. Because he took it to a cellular level.
Okay, come on now, talk to me.
Blood is made of cells. So he took it to the level of what the body is consist of. It's over 100 trillion cells.
Yep.
You can't go no deeper than that.
You're right.
We're on a cellular level. See, that all that hereditary and different blood types, see, that's a bunch of confusion. See, those things were created to keep things complex. So when things are complex, you don't depend on yourself. You depend on a system.
Got
you understand?
Understood.
So we got all of that. That's why our brother is so Sabi, man. Like nobody knew to go to the cellular level of things, but that's where it all starts. Cells make up tissue, tissue make up organs, and organs make up systems of the body.
Yep.
So we're just a cell.
And so if you just nip it in the bud at the root of it all, you don't have to worry about anything else. That's so beautiful because that was something that I was taught, and not actually in the goddess circle, but this is something that I was taught amongst people that's in the health world. And that was the thing that they stressed out. You know, well, a lot of people don't realize that if you have different type of blood types, that, you know, you still require a different type of, well, you don't require a different type of diet, but you need certain nutrients and more of certain things. But now you done definitely debunked that for me. Well, you know, I'm gonna definitely do my due diligence, but you debunked it enough that you said enough that it, in my conscious mind, it made sense and it resonated. So it's enough for me to accept, you know, as truth. But I'm definitely gonna do my due diligence on it. But you definitely have debunked me from saying that though. That's forward.
And all, like I said, I'm just here to remind. It is nothing new under the sun. I'm just like I'm like y'all reminder. I'm just here to remind you of what's already inside of you.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
It ain't, you know, so it's a whole lot of things that, you know, they've conditioned us to accept as truth. You know, so, you know, we just got to keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Just keep it very, very simple. Just ask, next time you go to your doctor, y'all, ask these 2 questions.
Well, you know, people like you be my doctor. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know, but our people still, you know, believe in those, you know, people with those certificates and, you know, white coats and stuff, and I get it. But I want you to think, y'all. I want you to say, I'm coming to this doctor or this physician to seek guidance to better my health, right? Ask the 2 questions. Say, Doc, out of your 8 years of schooling, how many years did you go to school to learn the anatomy? And they're going to say, I didn't go for years. I only went for 2 to 3 months. And then you say, well, how many years did you go to school for nutrition out of your 8 years? And they're going to say, I didn't go for years. I only went for 2 to 3 weeks. They just took a course. So, like, so nobody should have to tell you. See, if we was taught to ask those two questions, you would never step foot in there, because if you didn't go to school for the anatomy of how the body worked and you didn't go learn nutrition, well, what did you go learn? Mm-hmm. Oh, it said it on the wall. It says the School of Medicine. This is why every time you go to them, they always prescribing you with something.
That's so true. And you actually kind of segue into something that I had down, but we're going to bring it on up.
Okay.
Because I'm a chef as well.
Okay. So
you know, I went to culinary school.
Okay.
Yes, graduated.
Respect,
yes,
respect.
honors. Yes. So I was going to say that, though. And even if you go to culinary school, right, we spent like a few weeks on vegetarian or health and nutrition, right? But we spent the rest of the whole time, we in school in school 2 years. We spent the rest of the whole time, cooking the meats and all, but that nutrition and that health,
all right there.
It was a quick breeze, and it was real, real quick. And then you got some people that can go and get like a little bit more, but it's still a quick breeze in the sun. Right. And then they could be called a nutritionist.
And that's why I created the Alcutrition, because I didn't go to their school to become a nutritionist, dietitian, physician, or a herbalist or anything, but I'm self-taught. So don't mean that because you're self-taught don't mean you don't know something. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
I don't
exactly.
know
Do y'all hear that? Just because you're self-taught don't mean you don't know it. Come on now.
I have respect.
I birthed 4 children.
I know that's right.
You can't tell me I'm not a midwife.
Right.
I birthed my own children, all 4 of them. You can't tell me I'm not a midwife.
So this is the whole thing. We just been taught to look outside of ourselves for a lot of things. We've been taught to, instead of utilizing the system, we've been taught, our culture have been taught to depend on it instead of utilizing. Every other culture utilizes. This is why they own. We still depend on it. This is why we don't own.
Why we don't own. I'm gonna get off of health for 1 second real quick, because listen, y'all. So I had a battle, and so I had to go to South Carolina. South Carolina, you see the cotton and stuff. You see the cotton fields and stuff like that, right? And it just made me so angry for the simple fact, I'm like, my people, we don't understand, instead of depending on something, how to utilize something, right? How did we for so many years get beat to pick this stuff for free, for the free 99? And then the moment that we free, we're not the number one industrial people of cotton. We are not the number one distributors of cotton.
You got to remember, right after they say so-called free, they created a school system, right? And that school system never taught us how to think. It taught us what to think. So exactly. I ain't got to do nothing else, sis. As the oppressor, once I've conditioned you to teach you what to think, that's why we never did what you just said, because we're conditioned. All we think about is successful, and we look at that successful again, like my grandmother told me. She said, "Baby, as long as you got half the truth, you will always make half-ass choices and half-ass decisions." And I didn't know what that woman meant. She told me this at the age of 13. I didn't know what that woman meant till I was 36.
That was my granny. Shout out to we need grandmas like that. That was my granny, telling you little word stuff that you don't catch on to, but it hits you.
But see, again, she wasn't able to explain it to me in this wholeness. That's why I didn't get it till I was 36. So that's why we got to start teaching our children or our brothers and sisters or the people that we're around things in this wholeness.
In its entirety.
When I this is how I was walking through life. I could see part of you. But the more I detoxed my body and brought balance back to myself, it started doing this. It started doing this. It started doing this. It started doing this. Now I can see y'all in your wholeness opposed to halfway.
You said a key word, detox.
Right.
Do you suggest before somebody make the jump into whether it's going from eating meat to being vegetarian to being vegan, do you suggest they detox before they do something like that? And what type of detox?
Well, like I tell everyone, because everyone say, well, you got to, I got to wean myself. I got to transition. Well, those are justifications to try to stay where you're at. And because I used to be Mr. Justification King.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I had the biggest justification wrench on this planet. Because when you have money and you don't value nothing else but the value of $1 and you don't value life, see, if you don't have money like me or more than me, I'm not listening to you. Mm-hmm. I stopped listening to my mother. Because I didn't do a lot by the time I'm 21, 22. Mm-hmm. Like, what can you tell me?
Exactly.
But that's going back to the conditioning. So going back to answer the question, I tell everyone that clean your house up. Just think about the years of what you are. Just think about that age, the age. So
I've been whipping butt all morning.
What you mean?
My children, man. I went to go cook breakfast this morning, and I was gonna do a little deep cleaning because the little the little surface cleaning supposed to be done Sunday, man. But I ain't mean to interrupt you, but you just made me laugh when you said clean your house because I've been going off literally all day.
But that's the thing. See, we've been taught so much to look outside of ourselves. We're spring clean, we're summer clean, we're fall clean, we're winter clean, our house. But we forget about self.
Our body.
So I want you to think about that age that you are today. Think about living in your parents' house for that many years. And you got your bedroom, right? And they never came in your bedroom and showed you how to clean up. Think about that. For how many years you are today, and your parents never showed you how to clean your room. Think about how nasty and filthy that room would become.
And some people's body system is like that.
So I want you to look at that bedroom as the same as your body. That's why I use that analogy. Because what happened in that bedroom, it happened in the body.
Dust mites.
The same exact thing. You're filled up and built up with waste.
Crumbs.
That's why I said
that's the plaque.
Now, going back to the plaque. I'm glad you said that. Now, you know how they say, eat protein and starch, right? They say you're supposed to eat protein, starch, and dairy. Okay, cool. I used to wake up every day, eat me a breakfast turkey sausage biscuit. Boom. I just had protein and gluten. Okay? That protein that I'm not supposed to have, the breakdown in the digestion of it, those byproducts, they don't get eliminated. So that gluten that I ate, it glued into my cell wall. Okay? Then I say, lunchtime coming around, y'all want to sub? I just had the same thing, protein and gluten. Okay. Later on that night, I might get some pasta, lasagna, spaghetti. The same exact thing, y'all.
So you don't eat sandwiches?
Huh?
You don't eat sandwiches?
Not no more.
Okay.
But going back to that stuff gluing on top of each other, keep gluing on top of each other, that's your mute cord plaque.
That's the plaque.
That's it. And it takes a lot to get that off your cell walls because it's glued.
So what about this apricot seed thing? I mean, is it apricot? Papaya seed.
See, papaya is for parasites.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get into this. Like, it ain't going to just happen off of one cleanse, but you have to, because when you have to do some fasting to get that mucoid plaque off. When you use the bathroom and you start seeing that dark waste, if you ever see something that's black, that's mucoid plaque.
Have you ever seen some from you?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Was it scary?
Because I know I'm cleansing. Okay. I know I'm detoxing. I know what I did to self.
I think I seen some from me. I did because my brother in Philly, they call him the herb man, right? Everybody goes to him.
Respect.
But he's very, very divine. And yes, and he makes special concoctions based off of your energy.
That's right.
And so, but anyway, I think that yeah, that's what but it scared me.
It
It scared me. I was like, oh wait, hold up, stop. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it definitely we got a lot of stuff built up in our body for all these
And
years.
I never asked them, so I never found
That's
out
all
about
that was.
plaque until later. Like
That's
I
all
found out about like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's all that was, mucor plaque.
And so let's see what we have here. What is the biggest or most common mistake that people make when they switch over to this lifestyle of either going vegan or vegetarian?
Well, I wouldn't say none of it is a mistake. I would say, because a lot of people, see, we caught up in titles, you know, and just because you see, this is why I be telling people, don't worry about these words. You got to understand what you're putting in your body, because you're gonna go from the standard American diet to vegan, and now vegan eat a whole lot of starch.
That's what I was
You
waiting.
understand?
Yep.
So when you eat that starch, now it still breaks down in the body as carbonic acid. You might got rid of the dairy, the lactic acid. You might got rid of the protein. No, because most of them still eat beans.
Yeah.
That's why I say. So we got to look at the things that we consume are complex structures. Your body don't deal with complex structures. It deals with simplicity. So simple structures. So that protein, it still has to get broke down from protein to polypeptides to peptides to amino acids, and that's when your cell will accept it. It don't accept protein. It don't accept polys. It don't accept peptides. It accepts amino acids.
Okay.
So the fruit already contain amino acids. You see?
So I'm on my field with them.
So when we eat all these complex, even with the carbohydrates, people say, well, I'm not going to eat no carbs. Everything outside of a piece of flesh is a carbohydrate. So we just got to understand the structures of what we're putting in our body, because once we give the body the proper chemistry, it heals itself. You give the body the improper chemistry, it suffers.
Okay. So I want to end this conversation with a little game. This is what a lot of y'all was waiting for anyway. And this game is called Flick This Sickness.
Okay, I like it.
So the rules of the game is I'm going to come up with a dis-ease or ailment. Well, I got something written down. Okay. And we're going to talk about things that we can do to reverse it, or what can we do to flick it, get rid of it altogether, if there's a way for it, or whatever comes up in your mind, how to flick this sickness.
Gotcha. I like that.
Okay?
I love it.
Now, the first thing we have, of course, is the monster.
What's that?
HIV or herpes.
Yeah, well, you can get rid of it. You can get rid of these viruses out of the body. It's just simply having to detox the body, but you also, again, has to change the chemistry of what you put in. So you can't be like creating an oxymoron for yourself. You can't say, I'm going to do this same thing that I've been doing, but yet I'm going to take some herbs. But see, we got to understand, look at what you do every day. You don't do cocaine. You don't do heroin. You don't do fentanyl. You eat every day. So everything you do on a daily basis affects what's inside of you. So yes, you can get rid of the body of HIV. You just got to detox the body, get that lymphatic system moving, get those kidneys to filter. Same thing with the herpes. Same thing. It's a process. Some take longer than others, but yes, it can be reversed.
Okay. Now, what about sickle cell?
Oh, sickle cell. That's so simple to reverse. So simple to reverse, simply because the blood don't cleanse itself. The blood don't clean itself. So once you understand that the blood don't clean itself, which is what cleans the body or the cells or the waste, is the lymphatic system.
Okay.
And that spleen that is part of both systems, the blood and the lymphatic system. You go after that spleen, sickle cell be going like that.
We got a sister right here. She struggles with sickle cell. My aunt passed away from sickle cell.
Oh, sickle cell is so simple. I'm telling you, it's like one of the, anything dealing with the blood, because the blood don't clean itself. Leukemia, sickle cell, all of that, it can be reversed quickly.
Spleen.
Going after the spleen.
Wow.
But not just the spleen, but that's where, see, what most of the blood does, most of the toxins of the blood, it goes into the spleen. The blood doesn't, All right, the blood is like the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody go in your kitchen, they go get nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
The blood feeds nutrition to the cells.
Mm-hmm.
You don't eat in your kitchen and then take your pants down to eliminate. You go in another room, which is the sewer system of the house, the bathroom.
Right, gotcha.
Everybody comes with the same thing, a kitchen and a bathroom. Blood, kitchen, lymphatic system, sewer system.
What about asthma?
Simple. Everybody look at the effect, which is the lungs. But we got to go out the cause. The cause is the adrenal glands. Why we say the adrenal glands? Because the adrenal glands produces 25 clinical steroids. 2, it deals with sending neurotransmitters throughout the body. 3, it deals with metabolizing sugar. Those neurotransmitters that are sent through the central nervous system and the autonomic nervous system.
Anunnaki,
Okay,
autonomic. I hear you.
Blink, automatic. Breathe, automatic. Heartbeat, automatic. That's the autonomic nervous system. So that's the cause of asthma. The effect is the lung.
Now, if somebody is going vegan, what are 3 things that you think that they must include in their everyday diet or in their consumption?
Well, I keep it very simple. Fruit have everything you need because it's complete. But you like I said, you can have you some vegetables. I tell everyone, as long as you know what you're designed to eat, if you decide to eat anything else outside of it, just clean your house up.
You got to know how to clean it.
You just got to clean your house up.
So how we clean it? Let's get that out before we go then. How we clean it?
That's doing the full body detox. And then that's what, like I said, first of all, fruit detoxes you. You can do a lot of reversing of illnesses just from fruit.
My grandma used to tell us, and she told me always, like, you're supposed to eat, like, your fruit after you eat your meal because it flushes the meal that you ate.
And it helps with digestion because your body has 4 stages to this body. It's 4 stages. You got digestion, absorption, after you eat something. You digest, you absorb, you utilize what you absorb, and then you're supposed to eliminate. But we don't work that way because we failed at the first stage. We put the improper chemistry in our body to be eliminated. So it stops all the other ones from performing. Okay?
So can you help us with a simple detox recipe? I know you got a recipe book out or anything?
I have. You go to my website, www.
That's what I was looking for on your page too.
It's an ebook.
I was definitely looking.
Just click on the ebook.
So I just watched your little videos. Well, not your little, pardon me, y'all, because that's a disrespectful word, your love.
No, it's not.
I watched your videos. Yes. I was like, man.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is go on my website, www.alkalinegourmet.net, and there's a book. I have 2 books. One is a cookbook, but we're not talking about cooking. We're talking about cleaning the body right now. So there's another book called Molecular Nutrition for Detoxification. You follow that book. It has information in there, the first 4 pages, and then it has recipes that I've created. And then I have a nutritional guide, and you can create your own recipes, but it must be from that nutritional guide in the back of that book.
Gotcha.
You eat that while you're detoxing. Like I can put formulas together. I put packages together for people. But some people say, okay, I just want to start with the fruit. Okay, that's fine. Fruit they detox as well. They're powerful because they give you nutrition and they detox you at the same time because they're expectorants.
Gotcha.
They're astringents, They're astringents, and astringents expectorate. Okay?
So is there anything that you would like to tell the people?
I just want people to just understand, take it one day at a time. Okay, like you can't. There's no race to getting to this thing called wellness. Just remember your goal is to be better than what you were yesterday. That's it. So if you eat 3 grapes today and then tomorrow you turn around and eat 5, you simply bettered yourself than what you were yesterday. So don't put this extreme on yourself. Just remember, take some time for yourself. Love yourself. And a lot of us say that we love ourselves, and I say this because actions speak louder than words, right? So if actions speak louder than words, and if you're walking around here alive, right, and you say that you love yourself, you would not put things in your body that were dead, rotten flesh, or things that were 50 times addicted than cocaine, which is sugar. Because our actions speak louder than our words, right?
That's right.
And this is what I used to think, that I love myself. because of the value of $1 instead of the value of life.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
just
whole
don't go
quote.
through life. I want you to grow through life, y'all. All right?
Yes, and pardon me too. One sec too.
Good.
I think this is very important though, for our brothers and sisters that are like addicted to like perks and pills and stuff like that. Is there anything natural that you can do to fight withdrawals?
It's a well, yes. I mean, I have things that I can put together. It's not no one thing because when you're on
Okay.
those things like that heavily, it's when you need formulas.
Got
You
you.
know what I'm saying? You need
Understood.
formulas. Yeah, when you on that stuff like that because it's an addictive substance. It's just like sugar. That's why people can't just go in the grocery store and just go to the produce section.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go to where that sugar at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so,
And I'm gonna say this last thing.
go ahead.
And when we eat this starch, y'all, it offends our central nervous system.
Mm.
It offends it. It compromises it. This is why people are all over the place. Your central nervous system is the information highway. It sends signals all day long.
Right.
So if you're at an intersection, north, south, east, west, and you cannot move, you cannot get to that certain location. You're stuck. You're
Right.
stagnated. That's what our bodies have become with our signals. This is why we sometimes do the right thing, sometimes we do the wrong thing. This is why sometimes when I used to do the wrong thing and I knew it was wrong, I just ain't had no self-control to stop myself.
Discipline.
All right?
Discipline. And so it was an honor. We definitely got to have a part 2 to
Oh, we
this because I
definitely.
missed so many questions because the conversation just got so
got you,
good.
sis.
So if you would honor me with the part 2 to
I
this,
promise you I will.
we and it'll be hopefully I have some questions ready from people from different walks of life too.
Okay.
But I do want to end today with the quote, right? Because we started today, right? And it's crazy. It's not crazy at all. It's divine.
Beautiful thing.
How we started today when we were saying that it all was connected. We was talking about it. This is a different conversation. We was talking about relationships and all this and life and stuff. And we was talking about health. No, it's all connected.
It really is.
And so I'm going to lead today with saying, right, what health is to the body, so is honesty to the soul. They go hand in hand. We got to be real with ourselves. We got to love ourselves. We got to be real with our body, our condition, and where we are. And if we want to do better, then we do that. If not, may peace be with you. May I see y'all next Monday once again on the greatest show out the
Yes, thank you,
757. Well, along with all the other great shows, because I'm a love giver.
That's
But,
right,
I'm one of the greatest shows
That's
out the
right.
757.
Respect.
God is talk where the streets meet the spirit and the spirit meet the streets. Peace, peace, y'all.
Thank you all. Give thanks.
I've been in my name.
Powered by Virginia Radio.